I, Henry, and I'm coming to you today with a deck profile of a deck that I've long awaited being finished. And I went to a locals down in South Carolina this past Saturday, and I got all the pieces I needed to complete Sylvan's. And if you want to know how I did at the tournament, stay tuned for like these 10 seconds. If not, you can skip ahead. But I used heroes, and I went 3-1. I used an updated April 1st version of the deck, and it did really well. If you want to have a deck profile of the deck, just post in the comments below you want an April 1st, 2015 Elemental Hero Masked Hero deck profile. Now, anyway, into this deck profile. Let's get started. 1, 2, and 3 Hermitry to start off the Sylvans. You run 3 Hermitry because this is really the only card you plus off of. And it's really good. Got a nice 2700 attack. And thanks to some of the new toolbox cards, you're able to search this card and summon it out of your hand, which is really good. Next, I run 3 Sage. A lot of people are running 2 Sage now because your opponent's able to break up the chain. However, if you go if Sylvan goes to grave, then you ask if they have anything, like, do you have any response or anything, and if they say no, then you chain Sage Koya, and it's a lot harder for them to break up the chain, because they already said they weren't going to chain anything in response. So you gotta take them for their word, in essence. So that's it for the really big Sylvans. On to the smaller Sylvans. You don't run too many of the smaller Sylvans. I only run 8 of them, and I don't think that's too many. You really had to cut down on them because you don't want to draw them too much in this deck. You really want to get your big beaters out on board as soon as possible. 2 Kumashrimmo. In old days, when there were 3 Soul Charge, you ran this card at, I think, 3, was it? But now you got to cut it to 2 because you don't want to see it that often. But you still have to run it at 2 because you do want the back row pop. 2 Martial Leaf because Monster Destruction is always good. Plus, if you're in your dire situation, and you need to normal summon this to get 2 milled, you can. And it's a nice 1500 attack, so it does all right, I guess. So yeah. Then you have to run 2 Princess Sprout. 2 Princess Sprout is essential in the deck. You cannot run the deck without 2 Princess Sprout, because this is your level manipulator. If this card is excavated, you can special summon it, and it can go from 1 to 8. And that's amazing, because it helps go into rank 8s and rank 7s. And you never go below those 2 levels unless you're like trying to go for a synchro summon. And it has to be around 2. Plus, you can also use its other effect if you're in really bad shape. You normal summon it, you tribute it, and then mill a card. And if you have a Sage in hand, that works a lot better. So yeah. Anyway, to close off the Sylvan monsters, you run 2 Peacekeeper. Not 3, because you don't want to draw this card at all. You only want to send this to the grave to special summon Lone Fires or your tuners. That's the only time you want to see this card, is if you have cards in your graveyard that you can summon off of its effect. Now onto the one-ofs that you must run. 1 Glow Up Bulb, 1 Dandelion, and 1 Spore. You cannot run the deck without these 3 cards. Glow Up Bulb is able to help. It's a level 1 tuner, and it summons itself from the grave like Spore, except this does not change its level. Spore does. And this helps a lot because I have some cards in the extra deck that I will explain later. Dandelion is good because it also helps going into synchro plays, and if you need to stall. Spore is always good because it also manipulates levels, so you can exceed with it or synchro summon with it. The deck used to run Copy Plant instead of Glow Up Bulb. Sometimes I actually think Copy Plant would still be good in the deck. But then you'd have 1 too many tuners in the deck. You only really want 2 tuners. Anyway, continuing. Now that it's April 1st and Lone Fire is at 3, of course you have to run 3 Lone Fire. This is amazing. Oh my god. If you somehow manage to get this, if you open with a soul charge and manage to get this on your board, you pretty much have won. Like, one time I had a fertilizer, and a soul charge in my hand. I foolished the lone fire. This is in playtesting. Fertilized my lone fire. Then I used lone fire to get the 3 lone fire in the grave and have a hermitry on board. Then played soul charge to get 2 more hermitry, or to get 1 more hermitry and 2 sage. And it was amazing. The guy pretty much lost from then. Lost right there. It was insane because he couldn't come back. Now, your new toolbox cards that have come out in the new premium gold set do really, really well. Now, the first one that I'm showing you is Rose Lover. What Rose Lover does is, if this card's in the grave, you can banish this card and special summon any plant type monster from your hand. And if you do, if you summon it with Rose Lover makes that monster unaffected by trap cards until the end of that turn, which is really good. Now, this is what I was talking about when I said you were able to summon Hermitry from your hand, because now that you have Rose Lover and you have a Hermitry, you banish the Rose Lover, summon the Hermitry, unaffected by traps, you use its effect, and you can attack. It is amazing. Now, I mentioned a card that can search your Hermitries and your... however, I didn't mention that I could also search for Sage Koyas, but it can. And this the newest toolbox card that they have is Rose Paladin. Now, I saw one guy running 3 Rose Paladin. I think he is wrong, because Rose Paladin does get cloggy. What you need to do is only run 2 Rose Paladin. And you never really use its effect to summon. You really mainly use its effect to search. Now, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. Let me read its effect. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can tribute this card, special summon 1 plant type monster from your hand or deck in defense position. However, that's not the effect you use the most. The effect you use the most is you can discard this card to the graveyard. Add 1 level 7 or higher plant type monster from your deck to your hand. This is the effect you use the most, because it searches out your Hermitries and your Sage Koyas. That is why you use the effect the most. To search out your Sage Koyas, which can summon themselves from your hand, or to add the Hermitry, so you can banish the Rose Lover and summon the Hermitry. Now, the last toolbox card that has been out a while and has been run in the deck and should still be run at 2 in the deck is 2 Rose Archer. Now, I don't believe that I need to explain Rose Archer. You probably already know what it does, but I will just to be safe. Rose Archer, if you have a plant type monster on the field, you can discard this card to negate and destroy a trap card. It's amazing. Because if you have this in hand and you have a bunch of plant monsters, you don't have to worry about Mirror Force. Unless you play it on your second attack. Then, if you don't have 2, you're kind of screwed. But that closes up the monsters. It's a 26 monster count, I believe. I run no traps, because this deck has to be all offensive. I guess you consider one spell that I run defensive or offensive, depending on how you look at it. I think it's both. And it's the last spell card I will show you. Anyway, on to spells. 2, Mount Sylvania. This card is amazing in the deck. Not at 3, would be too cloggy. 1, you would see too little. 2 is just right. It sets up your excavations and also can get your plant tuners into the grave. Next, 3, Sylvan Charity. This was the card I was probably going to have the hardest time getting other than Fertilizer, but I got it, and I'm happy. This card is your draw power, in essence, other than Hermitry. What this does is you draw 3 cards, and then reveal at least 1 Sylvan card, and you have to reveal 2 cards, and one of them has to be at least a Sylvan. If not, you reveal your hand and put it to the top of the deck in any order. But if you do have a Sylvan and you reveal it in another card, you're golden. Next, 3, Miracle Fertilizer. I know I have 2 rares and 1 common. Don't judge. I'm just happy I have the cards. Let me center that up. I'm just happy I have the cards. What this does is, once per turn, you can special summon a plant type monster from your graveyard. However, you cannot normal summon or set during the turn you activate this effect. So yeah, this card is amazing, because you don't really ever normal summon except for Lone Fire in the deck. That's really the only card you will ever need to normal summon is Lone Fire. And even then, you don't really need to normal summon it, because you can always Foolish it and then Miracle Fertilize it. You never really... So, yeah. That's why Vanities actually could hurt the deck, even though the deck abused Vanities because of their excavations. Vanities would kill itself, and then they would just go off, and they could flip another Vanities on your opponent's turn. I am thinking about actually putting one Vanities in here. I don't know. I'm still debating. However, continuing on. 1 for 1, because you run the level 1 tuners. Or you could go into a Rose Lover, have your opponent crash into it, next turn, banish it, summon something from your hand. Foolish, send a Rose Lover, or set up your Miracle Fertilizers. 1 Soul Charge, because Soul Charge just makes this deck good as, like, it just makes the deck OP. There's no stopping it if you have Soul Charge. That is why the deck was so good when there were 3 Soul Charge, because you abused Soul Charge to heck in a handbasket. But even though now there's only 1, but you still have to run the 1, because you abuse it. You abuse it! Next, 2 Rhoda, because it searches out your archers and your paladins, since they're warriors. I know, they're not plant, oddly enough, but Rose Lover is. I think there's going to be a new Rose archetype deck, and this one guy wouldn't sell me his supers because he was waiting and he didn't want to have to get everything back. I really would have liked the Super Miracle Fertilizers. Oh well. But these search out your Rose Archer and your Paladin, and it deck thins greatly, and it also helps if you are worried about traps. You go Rhoda if you're worried about traps into Rose Archer, or if you want to search out Hermitry or Sagekoya, you can go Rhoda, Paladin, Sagekoya, or Hermitry, which is really, really, really good. Now, the last card in the 40 card main deck is 1 Lance. This is the offensive/defensive spell that I run. I run this because of Paladin. Gosh, there's a lot of noise out there. But I run this because of Paladin, in case I actually need to use its attack effect, and I need to get over a monster, I'll drop my Lance. Jeez, Tori, I can hear you from here. Oh well. So that's the 40 card main deck. It's a really, really fun deck, and I hope you guys pick it up. I think it's going to be a lot better now that they have a new toolbox. Anyway, on to the extra deck. 1. Oh, my mat got moved. That makes me sad. 1, Sylvan the High Protector. We'll just go with that, the High Protector. 1 High Protector. This card's amazing. Must be run at 1. I mean, you only run 1 of each extra card, actually. You could run 2 Aurea, but a lot of people are only running 1, same as me. I have 2, though, in case I want to run 2. But what this does is declare a card name. Send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. If it's not the declared card name, attach an Xyz material. Target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the top or bottom of the deck. The card I love to declare is Blue Eyes, because there's no Blue Eyes in this deck, so you automatically will return a card. It's amazing. Surprised it hasn't gotten... Does it take plant type monsters? Surprised it hasn't gotten banned. Really am. I mean, Blue Eyes can use... Any deck that has level 8s can use this card. And Sylvans abuse it, because they get effects when excavate. Does it say ascend or excavate? Excavate, yes, yeah. Works better in Sylvans, but can work in any level 8 deck. That's why I'm surprised it hasn't been banned. But, shh, don't tell anyone I said this that it's surprised it hasn't been banned, because I like it. Let's keep it that way. 1 Felgrand, because, well, it's Dragonite Felgrand. Negates effects really, really well. Tachyon. Honestly, I don't know. I run Tachyon because it's got 3,000 attack. Other than Star Eater, it's got the highest attack in the extra deck. That's really the only reason why I run it. The effect is stupid if you ask me. I mean, negate all... Yeah, you can negate all face-up effects, and that's good. But the one where you attack, and if an effect resolves, or the one if an effect resolves during your battle, during your opponent's during a battle phase, normally it's something like a Raikou that destroys a card. So they're probably going to destroy this one. So that is why you will almost never get the boost by 1,000 and can attack again effect. Because if they have a destructive card, they will use it on this guy. The only thing it's good for is to negate effects and a 3,000 beater. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for the rank 8s. You run 3 rank 8s and 3 rank 7s. 1 Aurea, the Sylvan High Arbiter. Aurea is also amazing. 2 level 7 monsters. You contribute 1 plant type monster. Reveal the top cards of your deck equal to the level of that plant type monster. Rearrange them in any order. Place them back on top of your deck in the order you rearrange them. Then you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card. Declare 1 to 3. And however many plant type monsters are excavated, return that. You have to return that many cards on the field. So that way, if there's only like 2 or 1 or 2 cards, 1 to 3. If there's less than 3, you don't send 3. Alright? Because then you have to return a card on your side of the field. Only return cards up to the number of cards your opponent controls. So that means only excavate the number of plant type monsters up to the number of cards your opponent controls. If that makes sense to you guys. 1 Dragossack, because Dragossack is good. 101, it's Mr. Steal Your Girl. Of course. That is it for the Xyzes. I run 6 Xyzes and 9 Synchro Monsters. Now, if you're wondering why I don't run any low-level Xyz monster, is because the only monsters you want on your field and want to keep on your field are Sage Koya and Hermitry. Everything else you use to get those cards out. And those are what you overlay with. Now, on to Synchros. 1 Formula Synchron. Reprinted in the new Formula Premium Gold Return the Bling pack. Why does my mat keep shifting back? Jeez. It's like... This is what I'm talking about. Works better with Glow Bulb. Because you have a level 1, you can summon Glow Bulb from the grave without its level having to change. And you draw a card. This works really well. Hold on. The next Synchro monster I run is a level 5 Maturity Beast, and your new Toolbox Paladin and Glow Bulb give you access to this card. You can normal summon Paladin, summon Glow Bulb from the grave, and go into this card. Now, if you have... And never mind, I'll get to it later. Next, 1 Go-Yo Guardian, so you go 5, 6, Go-Yo Guardian, because it's good, but you only ever run 1. You don't run 3, even though it's at 3 now. Now, on for 7, so 5, 6, 7, 1 Black Rose. Now, I will tell you what I was going to tell you with Maturity Beast and Formula Synchron. If you pull out Formula Synchron and Maturity Beast, leave it like this until your opponent's turn. Then, what you can do, if they try and set up a board during their main phase, hey, 2 plus 5 equals 7. Black Rose, you get no field setup. That's how it works. And it's amazing. That's backwards. 2, 5, 6, 7. Now we run 2 level 8 Synchros. 1 Scrap Dragon. If I had to start a Spark, this would be a start a Spark, but I don't, so this is a Scrap Dragon. And 1 Stardust, because Stardust is good. And then 1 Shooting Star Dragon. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. We jumped from 8 to 10. But not just that. Oh my god. This card's amazing. All you need is Formula Synchron and Stardust. Oh my god. Do you guys know what this guy does? If you can reveal top 5 cards of your deck, this card can attack equal to the number of tuners revealed. However, you never use that effect. The 2 effects you do use are if your opponent activates a card that destroys a card or cards on the field, you can negate the activation of that effect and destroy that card. Also, if your opponent attacks, you can remove this card from play, negate the attack. Oh my god. And he's not that hard to pull out. He's pretty easy. Even if you use Spore and you have a Sage Koya in your hand and a level 1, say Peas, you go Spore, Peas, Sink. Peas goes to grave. Summon Sage Koya. You also get that. Oh, wait. The draw might screw it up. Never mind. So the draw screws it up. But if you excavate a plant type monster with Peas and then summon Sage Koya, so you have Spore, Sage Koya, and Peas, move out of the way. Or you summon something else like Rose Paladin. You have level 3 in the grave, and you summoned Peas and one of them by a 1-for-1. You already had one on the field. Normal summon Paladin. Sink for Formula. Banish a level 3 plant from your grave. Sink for Stardust with Paladin and Spore. Then sink for this guy. Really, really good. So anyway. The next level 10 Synchro is Leo, because things have a hard time in this format getting over Leo, because so many things target. Now, to close off the extra deck, 1 Star Eater. Also, I chose to run Leo instead of a second Aurea, because a lot of the times I'll go into Formula Synchron and Hermitry, and I'll leave my board like that, and then just go into this on my opponent's main phase. So yeah. 1 Star Eater, because it's awesome. Why is my mat seriously keep... Ugh. But yeah. Except for the deck profile, guys. Sorry if it's long, because I blabbered a lot. I'm just really happy I finished this deck. Sylvan's is its name. Again, Sylvan's is its name. They are amazing. You run 26 monsters, and I believe 14 of them are Sylvans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 14 of them are Sylvans. 12 are generic plant/warrior toolbox cards. Super deck profile. I hope you guys like it. I'm out. Peace! And done.